Dan and Corey here, welcoming you into Libservative.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back.
And welcome in to another rousing rendition of Libservative. I am your host, Corey Walsh, with my special guest here, Robert, next to me.
Regular guest.
Regular guest who's been here he's
I've been here before. I've worked here before.
You would know that was my other podcast.
Oh.
That was
I've worked here before.
That's what's on his resume, and that's how he got in.
Yeah.
He's on my emergency contact list.
Lies.
Dan is out and about. He's at camp, and
he's at camp.
Yeah, he works with people with muscular dystrophy.
Sounds like a hunk.
Yeah, he's a married man though. Sorry, ladies. And then Bell cannot be here tonight because he has to work snatching them bodies. So I hit up my emergency contact list, and of all the people I hit up, I am very glad that Robert here is the one that answered the call. And so here we are. So he's just going to hang out with me while I go through a couple of headlines that we missed a couple of weeks because, as you may know, and if you didn't hear it last week, we did a post-debate reaction to the Biden-Trump debate. And by the way, did you catch that at all?
I did not, and I can't wait to look at it.
Oh, we're not talking about it now. We talked about it last week.
No, but I'm retrograded. I'm retrofit. I'm retrofitting in.
Did you say you didn't see any sound bites or anything?
Nothing. No, I have been very busy these past couple weeks. It's been a hot one.
Oh, man. All right, so I'm going to look up one of those in a second here. But real quick, Libservative Podcast is found on all social media and podcast platforms. Our website is libservativeshow.com. We can be found at Libservative on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Instagram and Twitter at LibservativePod. Oh, and I'm sorry, our TikTok videos can be found at Libservative Podcasts, and you can reach out directly at libservativepod@gmail.com. Subscribe today. And if you're one of our new listeners out of different states, like I believe Albuquerque, and we also had one in, one second, I'll get you the list. Salt Lake City, Tijuana, St. Cloud, Nanuet, Lincolnton, and even though we have whoever that listener is in Brussels, I'd be curious to actually have you reach out to us and talk to us, just because I'm wondering what you think that your perspective of two fucking idiot two intellectual idiots in America think about politics. This is the 4th of July special. This is the birds here to celebrate birthday for America. What does 4th of July mean to you, Robert?
4th of July to me means freedom, Corey. 4th of July means freedom, apple pie, fireworks, and all the beautiful women in the United States, dude. It's the best place to be. Best time of the year. We got barbecue. We got bonfires. We got it all, dude, here in America. That's why it's the best fucking holiday there is. You know, Christmas is up there. It's like number 1. I think like Mother's Day is like number 2 or 3. I really feel like it should be America first. You know, I do. I really believe that. America first.
You just think you're biased because you're from America.
I mean, look at your shirt. I don't have such drip.
America first, definitely on 4th of July.
America
I feel
first.
like, you know, for as much as we do talk about on our show how we think our government is fucked up, that does not mean that we think America is a terrible
America
country.
is not the government. It's the people, man. And it's the people I love. We got everybody here.
But I got something for you. Since you didn't see the debate.
Hit me.
I figure I'll share it with everyone.
I was watching some snippets of this from this noise today.
I literally just asked if you saw
Yeah, it was like 2 seconds of it, and then I turned it off because
what I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. Billionaires in America. And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers. They'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
What? Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
Did they just save him?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's
the moderator just helped him out there.
That was
like a pivot.
No, that was his actual minute. Like they were actually pretty fair with their minutes and stuff on the thing, but they didn't need to do whatever they could. And that was basically most of it.
That seemed very.
And then now that was.
Is he on drugs?
There is talks of him always. They say that they have to like.
His eyes were dilated. I grew up around a lot of that shit.
He's got those.
They got the weird look, you know.
That pot-eyed, bushy-tailed boy out there stumbling over his words.
Yeah.
And then like that, I just wanted to show you that part because Trump. You've seen plenty of videos of him. You know, he's bombastic, he's energetic, but he's lying all the time. And that's what pisses off the other elites because sometimes he accidentally tells the truth. But so it was his typical stuff where he was just being, his typical self. So that's why I didn't feel like it was important to share that. But plus, he's not our president. He's not the one that's right now in charge of the nuclear codes. That's the guy that's in charge of our nuclear codes.
Oh, that's frightening.
I just showed you.
That is a really frightening prospect there. I don't think.
And so
what you're telling me right now is that we currently cannot access our nukes because this guy has to sign off.
Maybe
he might.
Honestly, that might be.
Is he the only guy that knows the code? Did he write it?
The nuclear
somewhere? Like how does that job shift go? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, does someone else get it when he's asleep?
I like other countries, like third world countries, or not.
That don't have nukes.
Say, yeah, those are great.
Non-developed countries.
You know, underdeveloped.
The ones that we just exploit.
What do you mean? Exploit. I'm not getting into that. I wouldn't go that far. I think America's the greatest. This is the 4th of July special. I think America's the greatest country in the world. We do not exploit people. We help you. We're gonna free the shit out of you. We're coming.
With a loan, of course. That's gonna have a high
I don't know
interest.
anything about money. I don't think the people running the shit do either.
And if they can't pay off the deficit, you're right.
I don't. Well, what's the number? Like $37 trillion?
Yeah, and
some number I can't make sense of. Like I can't even count to 1 million. Like
well, you could if you had the time.
No, I don't have the time.
But yeah, it's just flabbergasting that is.
But basically, at 25%, this gentleman is saying that I don't have a plan and I need all of everybody's money. That's pretty wild. That's a slippery slope, my friend. You're like that. That sounded rather
talking to your mic.
That sounded pretty communist to me. It did. That guy sounded like a communist bastard to me. That old man. Someone's whispering into his ear because I don't know. I think he loves America too, man. I do. I think he's just very old. I think he is very old, and we should help him out. And help him rest. He's just a man who loves his country and loves his son. And
speaking of loving our country,
we should get him out.
So we do this segment every week. Things learned, something new that we learned this week. I put you on the spot. You showed up last minute to be on the show.
You can't catch me off kilter, baby.
But did you learn anything new this week?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Wait, was I supposed to learn something?
I didn't give you any homework. I literally texted you 2 hours ago. And was
so in between 2 hours ago and now, I probably should have learned something.
No, we said it.
I got nothing. Yeah, I actually think I got dumber.
Just from being here.
I got dumber. Yeah. What'd you learn?
So I learned in an exceptionally large study at Vanderbilt University in the 1940s, approximately 820 poor pregnant Caucasian women were administered tracer doses of radioactive iron. Vanderbilt worked with the Tennessee State Department of Health, and the research was partly funded by the Public Health Service. They basically wanted to see what it would do.
Yeah, that sounds like a Nazi experiment to me. That's what the Nazis would do, man.
Yeah.
I think.
It was after, I think this was like right before Russia got the bomb, but like we had the bomb. And we were probably already in a paranoid state of like what would happen to our people if we got bombed. So they just unwillingly just dosed 820 poor pregnant women with
At least they were poor pregnant women.
yeah, thank God they weren't rich, right?
At least they were just poor people.
Because that's our second-class citizens.
They're barely people, Corey. You shouldn't actually. I don't understand why you take such a position. Obviously, I make, being a tax-paying citizen that produces and benefits for society, my input, my contribution, and my time is worth far more than a poor white lady. Was she pregnant?
Yeah, they were all
pregnant.
They were all
that's
pregnant.
a 2-for-1. I'm worth more than 2 people. That's pretty sweet.
Plus, you're not radioactive.
And I'm not radioactive, but there are probably still microplastics in our blood.
Our balls.
Our balls?
We talked about that.
Don't talk about my balls on air, Corey. That's where I draw the line, sir.
We talked about that a couple episodes back. There was a study came out recently that shows that microplastics are in virtually every human man's testicles.
I thought it was in our blood. Again, I'm not.
It's in our blood too. Who knows what the fuck it's doing?
Follow current events,
You know,
nearly as much as I
Our
should.
parents was asbestos. Our grandparents, unless you lived in Flint, was lead. We get microplastics.
Well, I mean, they got everything, buddy. All of it's bad for you, buddy. You take that. You ever take that?
Well, obviously it's
pesticide?
not good.
Okay, so how about that? Okay, you go camping. We're Michiganders. We love camping. We got the best place in the country for camping and fisheries and hunting. We Michigan pretty much 10 out of 10, right? We
Yeah.
all hate getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. We spray that shit on our bodies, dude. You ever take some of that bug killer and spray it on the grass? It'll kill the fucking grass. What do you you're drinking that up with your body? What do you think that poison does to your fucking body? Can you survive being a little itchy? Or do you want
Mosquitoes don't
fucking
really
cancer,
bother me.
man?
It's ticks.
Whatever, dude. You're
Ticks
gonna
can give you
live.
Lyme disease.
Whatever. Get Lyme disease. Go get a shot in your dick. Clear you right up. Send you on
it's
your
not.
way.
Dude.
I don't know how.
That's-
I'm not a doctor. I already clarified that. I prefaced this. I knew that I would make mistakes.
But just think of the children. There's got to be something, right, for Lyme
I
disease.
just survive.
Dude, Lyme
Just
disease.
survive.
Do you know what it does to you? It's fucked up. It
I don't know.
attacks
You
like
shit
all
blood?
your lymph nodes and
I don't know
makes,
where
like,
lymph nodes are.
they're everywhere in your body.
Okay, so it sounds like it's a pretty broad attack.
Yeah,
All right. So take
and
your,
then like
drink
it
your
can,
vitamin
it can
C,
give you cerebral palsy, where half your face goes limp.
whatever.
Do you like to?
They can fix it. I guarantee you they can fix it. We got the best.
Yeah, but it's
Michigan, best fishery, best.
But you have to get to
hunting,
that point to get fixed.
and we got the best hospitals too. We do. People come from all over the world that deal with Michigan. Okay, Michigan's number one.
You know, we
America
are a bit
number
of on a
one.
comeback, aren't we?
Michigan number one. What?
We are in a bit of. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, dude. I'm very thematic. I'm on theme for this today's episode. I'm very enthused.
When do you think Michigan's like inaugural day was that you'd celebrate it?
420, for sure.
I don't know if it was 420 that when Michigan became a state.
Yeah, probably 420, for sure.
January 26th. You were close.
January 26th. What else happened that day? Let's find out more things that happened on January 26th.
Why? What do you think
please.
happened?
I don't know. It's a very familiar date, and I like history, and I it's probably just gonna be someone's birthday. It's gonna be like my sister.
The first penal colony is founded at Botany Bay, Australia. Michigan admitted to U.S. state. United Kingdom formally occupies Hong Kong.
All right, the world's largest diamond is found. That's why I knew.
Oh, that's
Very
what it was.
obviously, it was the world's largest diamond was found. I know about all the drip. All right, obviously. Observe my glasses. Observe my drip.
Those are some pretty fly glasses.
I'm a pretty fly guy.
Pretty for a white guy. It's
For now.
It's a lot hotter in here with two
For
people.
now, it's not that hot.
You're wearing a
acclimate.
flannel.
I'm not even hot, dude. I'm not. I'm just better.
God damn it.
I'm just built different.
I'm built different.
I don't know.
So,
Supreme Court rulings.
Supreme Court
what do now?
recently-
Oh boy.
yeah, Supreme Court recently had a bunch of rulings that came out. And actually, I'm off topic here. No, I'll save that one for later. All right. Supreme Court recently had a bunch of rulings that came out, and I just figured I'd share them with the people and let them know.
At least share them with me.
I'll share them with you. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
So the first one was regarding bribery.
Okay. I feel like this is a caveat. Does this have to do with that stuff going on in New York with former President Mr. Donald Trump?
No.
Okay. All right. Carry on. I'm sorry.
Nope. There is one that has to do with that, though.
Okay.
But this one is the recent Supreme Court case, Snyder versus United States, involved James Snyder, the former mayor of Portage, Indiana. And the court ruled that the federal anti-bribery law does not criminalize state and local officials accepting gratuities for acts they have already performed. In a 6-3 decision, the court overturned Snyder's bribery conviction. Snyder had received $13,000 from a truck company after the company was awarded over a $1 million city contract. The court's majority opinion, written by Justice Brett Kavanaugh, emphasized that the law targets bribes given before an official act, not rewards given afterward. This ruling narrows the scope of federal public corruption laws, distinguishing between bribes and after-the-fact gratuities. How does that one make you feel?
I'm not quite sure.
So do you understand? Like,
I think that they basically just kind of wrote in a loophole.
Yeah, they basically made kickbacks allowed. You know, like how a kickback.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Where it's not a
pick up
bribe
what you're laying
now.
down. It's all. I work in construction, brother. I know how fucking this world is. It's not about what you know or what you do for a living. It's all about who you know, and it's at every single level, from McDonald's all the way up to the Pentagon, to the White House, to the dark room where nobody knows. You know, it goes all the way to the top, baby, and everybody's all the same.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That's pretty much it. And it's absolutely fucking astounding to me that they hasn't legalized bribery.
Yeah. No, it's, you just got to rub elbows, But honestly, I'm okay with that one. Like the whole bribery thing, like to touch bases on New York.
Yeah, you like the idea of it being a pay to play thing, like this.
No, not at all. What I'm saying is like that's the way it's been, and it's the way it is. Like power,
right.
Power, influence. Those are how you move things. That's how you get things done.
I guess what I'm frustrated.
So now
about.
we're making it illegal to like. So when I call him the homie, former President Mr. Donald J. Trump, paid that whore. Why was that bad? I don't understand why anybody.
Oh, okay. So I can explain that to you. It's that one is kind of fucking stupid because it wasn't about
powerful men.
It wasn't about
to shut the fuck up. That's
wasn't
the way of the world.
So it wasn't about that. It wasn't about him paying her. This is how they nabbed him. It's fucking stupid. And that I'm not. My audience or the audience knows. We've had a million conversations. I'm not a fan of Trump, but this one's fucking stupid.
You're not? Okay.
He made this hush money deal with her and to not talk about it and to stomp out a article that was going to come out in like some magazine.
Yes.
And he had his lawyer. What's his fucking name? Not Comey. Comey was FBI. I think it starts with a C. But he just said, "Yeah, take care of this for me. Pay this for me." And then he kind of stonewalled the guy on paying him back, and he ended up paying him in installments. And then Trump's accountant wrote in the books that those payments were for legal fees, but they weren't. They were paying him back for paying off a stripper. So they nailed him on a booking error,
a clerical error.
Yeah.
Whatever. My point is that these guys, they write in their own outs. The whole world, the whole moral, the whole kind of general norm, if you will, for like what is right and what is wrong is so deviated far from the truth right now in our world, and it's absolutely horrible. Like even over in Europe, we're trying to take everything. We're taking the words away from the meaning. These people are so powerful. Cat Williams said this, and it was awesome. He said these people are so powerful they can literally change the definitions of words without you knowing.
Yeah,
and that's very accurate. Like they George Carlin did a stand-up special. I quote all these comedians. It's great. Shows you my knowledge base. I know nothing about history, but I'll talk about my great speakers. But he was talking about how soldiers coming back from the Vietnam War had shell shock, and then they changed it to combat fatigue, and then it was like postpartum stress disorder.
Yeah, post-traumatic stress disorder.
Postpartum. But
It's all the same thing, but it sounds
they just
more...
keep on trying to desensitize it. Like Shell Shock got straight to the point. You knew that guy was fucked up, you know. And they just try to they numb you to the actual the thing ailing the man, like, and they just, until it's so bureaucratic and gross and all the humanity is been removed from it,
and so that's why
you
I'm
can't
pissed
have any
off.
empathy for them.
So that's why I'm pissed off about the bribery one, because in the very least, if they would have called this bribery, it would have at least basically put some guardrails on just what now can be just easily skirted through the law. Calling, like, now it's the highest bidder. What, like, this could have been a contract that a person that can provide a better product, but he's a young guy like you or I, with just a crew of 7 or 8 people, can do the same thing, but his whole ability to pay his workers and those and put food on their tables is depending on this one deal he could get, because he's a small business, right? It's basically, you don't have enough people to have multiple contracts going at once, but he does a better job. But then you could have a big conglomerate come in and go, yeah, we'll do an all right job, but we'll get it done pretty quick. I can send some crew over to take it out. And if you give it to us, then afterwards I'll buy you a truck.
So it's really funny you say something like that, because there was this guy, he goes around on YouTube. God, I wish I could cite him right now, because he's just a super cool dude, but he compares different facilities like that. He compared Uncle Buck in a truck to mom and pop shop to Mega Monster Corporation, and he ordered a really simple fab item. Like, granted, this is like metal fabrication crap, but I think he ordered something like along the lines like a picture frame. And then he gave him some tolerances, because, you know, these types of facilities, they need to be very specific. And they all scored wildly different, and none of the answers were what you quite thought they would be, you know. And it's like, I guess I'm deviating off topic now. I'm starting to think now about like the quality of craftsmanship.
Right. I guess. And well, that's the thing too, is like the small business isn't infallible. There's going to be shady people that are cutting corners doing the same thing.
I feel like the small businessman kind of sets the bar for what the big guy should be doing, you know, like
in a just world,
or
in
even
a true
better.
free market. Well, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't even be the small. So that's the thing too, right? So it wouldn't necessarily be a small thing or a big thing. It's just about the quality and who can produce the best product for the best price in a free market, which is how it's supposed to be in this country. But the problem is things like this curtail a free market. And what this does is this is just one more chink in the armor of a free market, coupled with protectionist policies, overregulation that are paid for by lobbyists.
Well, lobbying should just be fucking illegal. Period. Well,
this basically made it legal.
Lobbying should be illegal. I think that the people for these, I think that everything in the lobbyists is probably where the big racket starts. Because if you think that your industry that you currently work in isn't a racket, you are mistaken. You are not in this society to help people. You are a cog in a wheel, and you are there to generate something for somebody bigger than you. And it's sad, because we're all viewed as batteries now.
Right. And that's the thing, is like, there's a guy named Dave Smith. He's a libertarian. He's a comedian. And he has a podcast called Part of the Problem. And he talks about how big business, the business that you're describing, can't exist without big government. And the example he uses is Rockefeller. Remember Rockefeller? We're taught that they never met him, barely know the guy. But you know who Rockefeller is, right?
Yeah, I do.
So when
the
big money guy. So what he was doing, like, we're inherently taught that monopolies are bad, which that isn't even necessarily true. We're taught that monopolies are bad because of people like Rockefeller. But this is what Rockefeller did. Remember, he got a big share of the market, and then he lowered his prices to take everyone else out of business or to acquire them. In the meantime, for the consumer, oil was super cheap. That was fucking great. People were trying to compete it. Oil was really cheap everywhere. And then he acquired everyone, and then he raised the prices up. Oil was really expensive.
Yeah, but we started to have like antitrust bullshit for things like that.
Yeah. But then he raised the prices up. And then everyone else was like, oh, fuck, fuck this. These prices are too much. So other people started their own oil companies, and they just undercut him. So then he had to lower prices way down again. So there was a minute where oil prices were high, but a lot of the time oil prices were low. And this was Rockefeller trying to acquire all the businesses, and it cost him a shit ton of money. It cost him a
So
lot
you're
of
saying that
money.
it was a folly of him? It was a mistake?
No, because then he realized it was cheaper just to buy Congress members by lobbying to them to make regulations to stifle his business, the competition. Like, hey, instead of me having to spend these millions of dollars
acquiring these
in
companies
my prices,
and entities, you
how
can just
about
buy the men.
I give these congressmen, a few $1,000s each to pass legislation that I have to pay $1 million a year for my tax stamp.
I don't
Where
follow
no other
bills
companies
like that.
But you know
closely.
what I mean, right? But that's
I get the gist of it. I understand.
That's basically what he did.
Is this true? As I'm going to ask you a question quickly to deviate. I know we're deviating off topic a little bit, but
you're fine.
So bills, they can cover they don't just have to have, like, let's say it was an environmental. Let's say it was like some type of environmental protection bill. It could cover things that are so unrelated, like abortion. Like there could be caveats of,
Is it called earmarks?
I believe that is dubious, and it is just disingenuous, and it is a clear indicator that the people who are running the show have been bought and paid for, and that no one has the time to read the user term agreements for these 70,000
omnibus bills is what they're called. They have like 1,000 omnibus bill. It has like 1,000 pages to it.
It's like
it covers just a million things.
It's just disgusting.
Yeah.
And no one.
And then what they do is
to
get a vote. They're like, I need you to vote for this. And the person's like, I don't want to vote for that. They're like, all right, but how about if I throw in what you want to be voted on into this bill? And they're like, all right, yeah, I can get that behind that.
Yeah, I do believe that corroboration like that, it's like similar to insider trading. Except
some people do pass legislation that they make it to where it's just a single issue vote on one single topic.
Well, it should only be able to umbrella one issue.
Page.
There's no umbrella. It's just one thing.
That bill should be one page.
I'm not saying it could be 1,000 pages.
But it
just
should be
make
about,
it about
one thing.
And be very careful, because if you deviate, I feel like it should void your contract because you have been caught trying to do something dishonest. Yeah. And I feel like that you should be discredited. But instead, we just call these people great legislators and allow them to continue serving. Like, okay, so someone told me recently, because again, I don't follow this stuff. I'm piecemeal it. I do it a little bit at a time. I live out there in the world. They were like, the Clinton Foundation, how much money do they got? I was like, I don't know. It's charity, right?
No, they
it's like $362 million or something.
Not recently, like 8 years ago.
But they haven't practiced law in a long time.
Right. They just get paid for speeches.
How are they worth 300? Or the Clintons, Hillary, Bill? Like, how are they worth?
Yeah.
And it's
all of these things that we're talking about right now are because of BS legislation, like this very court case that we're talking about.
Right. I feel like that's
Citizens
very
United
relevant.
made it to where there's what's called dark money, to where they can just give millions of dollars to these very people you're talking about, like the Clintons, and they use this money to fund their campaigns to stay in power to get more of that money.
My point is, these people should be accountable. You are in here trying to talk to people and educate and entertain and have a good time. And I appreciate you coming. You're asking me to come and visit. And I know I have a lot of strong opinions, but dude, I think that all of these people are absolutely the worst, and they just need to go. I feel like if the government stopped tomorrow, like if all those old fucks just disappeared and were just like Thanos out,
the roads might get a little shittier.
It wouldn't even get shittier. I feel like nothing would change. You think you'd feel them if their crusty ass wasn't in the federal
government itself? No,
you wouldn't even feel it, dude. You think I wouldn't show up to work? You think some guy wouldn't pay for his fucking road to get paved or whatever? Like, granted, I know I'm not.
Look at you, fucking libertarian.
Economy and infrastructure, but do you really think it's gonna stop?
You're a libertarian as fuck.
I'm not a libertarian.
Or maybe little L, because you're definitely toting their party line right now.
But it's not going to stop. The system's already been built. The money's out there. The system's been built. If you're going to work and you want a piece of the pie, go and take it from them. Fucking get out there and fucking earn it. Do what you can to raise your fucking wage. Band together. Be a collective. Fucking make sure that you're not being taken advantage of. Union labor is very important.
That's not, I know. This is why I bring you on here, Robert. I got next one for you. You mentioned this one a little bit earlier. Presidential immunity. Trump's immunity case. The Supreme Court ruled that President Donald Trump has some immunity from prosecution for actions taken while he was in office. This decision stems from his 2020 election interference case. The court's 6-3 decision, written by Chief Justice John Roberts, stated that Trump has immunity for his official acts as president, but not for unofficial acts. This ruling delays the prosecution by special counsel Jack Smith and adds complexity to related cases such as the one in Georgia.
How about this? Get rid of all this nuanced bullshit where you write in your own escape.
You said the word nuance because I want to say this really quick.
What it is.
When official acts versus unofficial acts,
right?
So is trying to overturn an election an unofficial act in the seat of office as a president?
Exactly. It's very no. It's
literally
not. It's
there
literally
was ambiguity.
You'll never end that. So just fucking park. It's useless.
There was ambiguity before it, and now there's ambiguity after it. Now it just becomes a label of official or unofficial.
It's very.
But let me tell you this: like right now, like the president, like Biden came out and he said,
"Did he come out?"
Yeah, last month. They're probably
cool. Pretty sweet.
Good for him, you know.
Good for him,
Took him
man.
700 years.
At least now I know why his fucking eyes are open.
But he was like, "Oh, that the president is not a king, and this and that, and this and that." Like, you know, all these people are freaking out about it, right? When virtually every president, at least in our lifetimes, and if not 30 years before, we're committing war crimes on the daily, establishing coups and overturning democratically elected presidents of other countries and stuff like that. And those all get brushed to the wayside.
We do crazy shit to change the price of something. We will invade your fucking country to change the fucking thing from a 0 to a 1.
Hey, this is July 4th, America.
Yeah, we will. But I mean, like, really though. The people, and it's not just America, folks. These are the people on top. These are the people at the very tippy top, and they all know each other, and they all work together, and they all, like, it's all.
So the
bullshit.
freak out about this, I think, is more or less of the veil being pulled away from people's eyes, realizing that now the president is just getting.
Did they finally figure out he's a puppet when he's fucking sleeping?
To have legal authority to do shit they've been fucking doing the entire time,
dude. If I get arrested, there's a like.
Why would you get arrested?
I go to. Well, what I'm saying is all right. Hear me out. When I get arrested,
it went from if to when.
It happens all the time. So when I get arrested, they put me in handcuffs. They might fuck you up a little bit, and then they take you to jail. Okay?
Rough you up a little bit, but then they cover your head after to make sure you don't hit it.
He brought me a lemonade, but the fucking these political elite. You think someone's putting a fucking cold iron on those fucking soft little pussy wrists that these guys got with no muscle and no tendons and no nothing? No, they'll come in on their own fucking time. No one fucking. It's ridiculous. You think that you're the same as those guys? You're wrong.
Nope.
You're out of.
That's a very You should listen to this show more often because that is definitely. You're hitting everything that we talk about, right on the fucking.
But my point being is that they raised the fucking retirement year 2 years in France, and people are flipping cars and shutting shit.
That's why France has nice things.
Yeah,
because they always riot.
Because they riot violently and immediately. Like, oh my god, are you telling me that those fucking French boys are fucking, they're getting a fucking big dick before the Americas? Really? Get out of town.
Get out of here.
You're fucking forget about it.
Go kick rocks.
Yeah. What do they call it? Suck an egg?
Yeah, go suck an egg.
Go fucking suck eggs. Go make like a tree and fuck yourself.
Get out of here. Leaf, you idiot. It's make like a tree and leaf.
Okay. I never knew that. That's pretty sweet.
That's a bit from Back to the Future.
No, never seen it.
You've never seen Back to the Future?
I don't remember it. Definitely seen it.
Wait. You've never seen Back to the Future?
I don't remember it at all. I know his name is Marty McFly and the doctor. What's the doctor's name? You don't even know the doctor's name. You put me on the spot like this and you don't know the fucking doctor's name.
They call him Doc. His name Dr. Howard Brown.
Oh my god, it is Doc Brown. Motherfucker. All right, maybe I know more than I thought. I don't remember Back to the Future. That is an inaccurate.
You want me to give you my synopsis? Some old ass crazy fucking guy gets some high school kid and
Almost kills
grooms him into becoming an accomplice to fucking with the space-time continuum, to where when he goes back in time, he has to fight off his mom in some incestuous relationship who wants to be his prom date.
He was almost his own dad.
No, he was disappearing because of it.
Oh, really?
Because there was the whole fucking with the time space continuum from the old man.
So
thought putting a kid in a 1985 DeLorean and
traveling, I know that they went to 88 miles an hour. You know, Shrek is 23 years old today. If Shrek has always been and always is, you're old, dude. Shrek is old. Shrek's fucking old now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember seeing it in the movie theater.
I'm going bald, Corey.
Not me. This is my real hair.
That is clearly your real hair, and I would love to meet your stylist.
For the people who are just listening, I am wearing my hair in the way the
hard to believe I know
it is in my American shirt, which is ironic because like this is actually defacing the American flag when you put it like on a shirt or a plate. Yeah,
I was gonna say when you put it on a dirty hippie.
All right, Nixon, chill.
When you put that on a greasy hippie's body, it is defacement. Yes, I agree.
I got another one for you.
Hit me.
The Chevron decision.
I'm more of a Ford guy.
The Supreme Court overturned the Chevron doctrine, a 40-year-old precedent that allowed federal agencies to interpret ambiguous laws. This doctrine, established in 1984, Chevron v. Natural Resources Defense Council case, required courts to defer to agency interpretations if they were reasonable. The recent ruling, also a 6-3 decision, significantly reduces the power of federal agencies to regulate various sectors, including the environment and public health. Chief Justice John Roberts, writing for the majority, argued that courts should rely on their own interpretations of laws rather than deferring to agencies.
I'm glad that this came up in your little thing, and I'm not trying to deviate away from that again, but I had a brain fart. I had a brain fart earlier. Yeah, reel me back into
my
that.
show.
I'm in.
Remember, I'm fucking in charge. This is my.
But you remember how we were talking about that caveated and that nuanced and that sophisticated rhetoric and that whole runaround kind of leave myself a backdoor type bullshit?
You're like, this is.
I have a solution. I have a solution for it.
What's that?
Instead of having all this bureaucracy and all this fucking bullshit, the people of the city will meet at the town square. You will bring the accused, and they will find it, whether like old timey, like Back to the Future,
like
style.
Western Justice.
Yeah, because that was in Back to the Future. They went to the West.
In the third one.
Yeah.
And the second one, they go back to the future to the same.
Well,
time.
anyway,
there's two Martys running around.
That's weird. What a weird movie.
What's the time space continuum?
Space time the
flux capacitor.
The continuum transfunctional. There we go. But
yes.
My point being that I would want their deliberation, whether or not they were innocent or guilty, to be decided on the spot with the people in that city. Right there. Go and get the people who will occupy the fucking hall right there on the spot. If you believe what you
a speedy trial.
Put your life on the line. Put your fucking money where their mouth is. Put your life on the line and let an angry mob decide your fucking future. Yeah, give your balls a tug, you tit fucker. Put your fucking ass into it.
You know, because you do have to pull some real shiesty shit to get a whole mob angry at you.
Right. I want if you didn't fuck up,
like
deal with the mob then. Like I want the mob to give you your punishment.
Right. Like I've made the mistake of like cutting someone off, and then they honk, so I give them the finger, and then they give me the finger, and like. But that was never had a whole mob after me.
Never. Maybe like 4, 5. What's a mob? When are they a mob? I might have had a small mob
more than 6.
More than 6. Okay,
maybe.
We'll take that.
I don't know.
That sounds good. More than 6. It sounds so solid. It's so reasonable. That's a mob of people.
If I had 6 people
come, are we going to get an exact number here?
Yeah.
Google that.
Put it on the Googs.
How many people are considered a mob? 2 or more.
2 or more purpose-driven people.
Wow, dude,
I was off by 4.
You were off by, dude. That's pretty great news, though. We could mob up.
we could start a mob anytime.
Yeah, we could mob up at any time.
We could just run into Walmart just screaming this shit right now And then they'd be like, oh, there's a mob here.
Be like, call the constable. Yeah.
Get the sheriff in here. Eh? He's going to come in here and round him up with his lasso.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, fuck. I just opened maps. Why did I open
Corey,
maps?
go ahead. And
No, you're good. I'm not mad at you. This is great. I'm mad because I opened maps on accident.
No, I'm sick of all the double speak and the whole Democrat this, Republican that, fucking Bush hit me with a wiffle ball bat. Like, it's bullshit.
You're preaching to the choir, brother.
They're all lame. I think they're all bad. They're all a bunch of nerds. They kind of aren't even nerds. They're a bunch of puppet people that work for the fucking shadows, dude. They work for the fucking the
they're
evil
a wet
people.
towel.
They're a wet towel. They're not even. Yeah.
No, all right, listen.
You're right. No one's coming on.
You go take a nice hot shower, right? You know, your first world 40-minute hot water shower with your beer, right? And some music playing.
My shower beer.
You have your shower thoughts. You relax. You get out of the shower and you grab the towel to dry off, and the towel's wet.
I'll get the job done. I always do.
Right, but it's what would be the first sound out of your mouth if you grab that towel that's wet?
Thank God I still have a towel.
Not.
No. Be grateful, motherfucker. That's the fucking perspective I'm talking about. Just be happy you got a towel and you got hot water and you ain't just
because it's like
I
don't even have any paper towel. I don't even have any paper towel to dry off.
Whatever, dude. This is another good day to be alive.
Which would be hard.
You be hard. I am hard.
I'm saying it'd be hard to wipe.
Yeah, I get hard. With paper towel. I would get hard.
I'm saying it'd be hard to dry off.
Yeah, I would get so hard. I'd be hard the whole time.
Using paper towel?
Everything. I could use anything,
Wet
Corey.
towels.
You wouldn't stop me. You wouldn't stop my shower game. Are you serious?
No, bro.
Do I need to stop this show?
You want to
go shower? Yeah.
You want to show me a shower game?
Yeah. You want to know what's real? Yeah. What's good?
CALC in the showers.
You got everything in Michigan. We got the best fisheries. We got the best hunting. We got the best showers. we have absolutely everything here in Michigan. We really do. We're
no sharks or hurricanes.
Dude, they do. They sneak sharks.
Those are the worst.
They're
things,
not
though.
fake. We don't have.
We have a lot. We don't have a lot of the
sewer,
worst things, and we have a lot of the best things.
No. You're fucking wrong. We have all of the best things.
I said it, but
none of the worst things.
Yeah, that's what I literally just said.
No, you're wrong. Is that what you said?
I said we have. Mistake. I said we literally have none of the worst things, but all of the best things.
We do have.
It was a double negative. I get it, but
you might have. Yeah. I was never good at math.
I think that's reason.
I was never good at reasoning. That's why it's painfully obvious when I watch the people who are in charge make mistakes that should be punished
and that they blame you for.
And then like making me want to. I need to be more articulate. I got to articulate this a little bit better.
It's your first time on a podcast, Joe.
They want us to hate each other or poor people, and don't get it twisted. Very poor people here. But they want us. It's all smoke and mirror. You watch the right hand because you don't see the left hand.
It's So Noam Chomsky wrote a book. It's called Manufactured Consent, and it talks about literally what you're talking about. It's just the distraction, right? And I'm actually going to put a pause on the Supreme Court rulings because
It's very easy.
There's a thing I saw recently, and it was on Twitter. And I usually read stuff on Twitter, but I don't typically reply or anything like that. But I saw this one that Michigan was trending because right now with the whole Biden debate, Whitmer's in the reins basically as soon as she gets kind of the okay from the head guard to take the reins and try to take her shot at president. That's just still a crazy prediction I had from 4 years ago. It still might not happen, but I'm holding on to it until someone else gets elected. This person, I'm not even going to say their name, but it has the word like equivalents to anti-wokeism. But I don't want to give them the clout and people to find them on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, fuck this. They posted a picture of Michigan's AG, Dana Nessel, who I'm not a fan of. Not at all. Not one bit. Michigan's AG, Dana Nessel, couldn't find, and it's basically a video of Dana Nessel at a pride parade. dancing and singing into a microphone. And this person says, Michigan's AG Dana Nessel couldn't find the time to attend the funeral of Detroit's Deputy Reckling. She was too busy dancing at the Pride Parade.
Yeah.
To whereas I commented, would you rather a crappy AG pander to the liberal ideology or your ideology for clout or clickbait under the hollow pretenses? Because this is as much of a hollow pretense as it would be as if she showed up to the death of a police officer. Because I promise you, she doesn't care either way. She made a political calculation, and she realized that more people might be happy. She might make a bigger swath of people happy doing this than the other.
What day was it?
But I promise you, she doesn't give a fuck about either of them.
What calendar day did that fall on?
This was posted on July 1st.
What day was July 1st?
That would have been 2 days ago. Tuesday.
Okay.
Monday.
Tuesday?
Monday.
Okay. Then maybe she should have been at the funeral, man.
And Mondays are for funerals. Sundays.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Well,
Sunday,
I mean,
Sunday.
I wasn't ready to part. Like, obviously, okay. So I put myself in her position, and it was like, okay, do I want to go to a lame ass funeral?
But I feel like
go
the
to a
funeral
party,
itself
man?
was over the weekend.
Oh, so it was just absolutely just grabbing for straws, just anything to make two people hate each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off about this, because this AG,
And who cares where a person was
right
at a time?
It's frustrating that people consume, like, this thing was retweeted like hundreds of times, 3,000 times, and like all this is doing is just creating 3,000 individual arguments amongst people of our AG going to a pride parade versus a funeral.
Well, what if that's really special to whoever this lady is? You know, what if that's a thing? I hate
But I don't
myself.
I don't think this is
means
any
something to
more.
her?
I don't think her personally this would be any more special than it would be actually going, like, as being the
Well, you don't know.
attorney
She could have a
general.
gay uncle.
Well, yes, but also
know.
she's the AG. The AG is basically the top cop in the state.
That's what they call the top cop, huh? AG,
The attorney general.
Attorney General, AG,
Yeah.
AG, top
They're
cop.
basically the ones that are.
You're the sheriff in town.
Yeah, basically.
That's pretty cool.
Like,
Okay.
they're basically like the governor's lawyer. They're the ones who kind of dictate a lot of things that happen with prosecutions and
So
stuff. that
when one of
happen
our guys
in-
die, we typically go. We had a fatality not too long ago, and I regret not going, but we prayed for you, and rest in peace, Eric. But I feel like it might have been, if that is the context and that's who that
It
person
might have been a little
is,
uncouth to go play disc golf with me and the boys instead.
definitely should have been at your brother's funeral. If you're the top cop and one of your cops go
The
down,
attorney general.
you should have. I thought you were just like some unrelated politician, but if that's one of you, man, you probably should have been there. What's this lady's name?
Dana Nessel.
Dana Nessel. This one's out to you, Miss Dana Nessel. You probably should have been there. That was real dumb. That was a real dumb move. You should have went to your guy's funeral. Rest his soul.
Yeah, so basically right now.
This is good. Let's see that.
Yeah,
Scroll
what do
down.
attorney generals do? I'm on the National Association of Attorney General. As chief legal officers of the states, Commonwealth, District of Columbia, and territories of the United States, the role of an attorney general is to serve as counselor to the state government agencies and legislators as a representative of the public interest. Responsibilities are, while varying from one jurisdiction to the next due to the statutory and constitutional mandates, the role of the attorney general typically includes issuing formal opinions to state agencies, acting as public advocates in areas such as child support enforcement, consumer protections, antitrust, utility regulation, proposing legislation, enforcing federal and state environmental laws, representing the state and state agencies before the state and federal courts, handling criminal appeals in serious statewide criminal prosecutions, instituting civil suits on behalf of the state, representing the public's interest in charitable trusts and solicitations, and operating victim compensation programs. Basically, they are, who's kind of the head of who is the muscle of the law, which is the police. The police are the muscle. You know what I mean? The police are just the muscle of the laws that someone like this dictates, to where that's why when states and cities, when a president would enact a law, let's say it was like all of a sudden a harsher law on marijuana, AGs can decide whether or not they're going to pursue people who are disregarding that law. She's basically like, that's what I mean. Does it make sense what I'm saying? She's the cop's cop.
Mm-hmm.
And So she didn't go to a cop that died funeral. She went to the Pride Parade because she made a political calculation.
That was a mistake.
No, it wasn't.
I think it was a mistake.
Nope, not for her. Like, no, you don't think she looked at the numbers and looked at the polls and looked at what's larger swath of people would be more happy with her versus people being angry?
No, it's what's more important.
Right. To her political campaign.
No.
So what I'm pointing out.
Life.
Sure. But she wouldn't have gone to that if she actually cared either. What I'm saying.
Probably.
She would have gone to that because it would have been.
Yeah, she would have rather been on her fucking couch scratching her cunt watching Gilmore Girls, I'm sure. And then be at either fucking place.
Right.
You know?
But she made a political calculation. That's what I'm saying. So like for someone to be mad that she made a political calculation in one way because they didn't make because your side's political calculation wasn't big enough is just astounding to me. And it's just small brain thinking because it wouldn't have fucking mattered if she went to either when most of the American people are getting swindled out of their homes, when there's people are getting slave wages, you know what I mean? Like there's so many more things, but they almost do things like this by design to keep people arguing amongst themselves.
Yeah, no, that's the design. That's the design. This is all. We're not even past the second layer. You're like talking about a veil earlier, and we haven't even the veil. We're still on the stage. This is only the
curtain hasn't even been.
We're not even through the second act yet. We haven't met the man behind the curtain. You never will, not in my lifetime, and probably not in the next few. I seen something recently that said that humanity will be extinct in the next 780 years or some crap like that. And that there is a 50% chance that we've already broken past the halfway point of the end of humanity. And it's all super interesting and it's all super smart. And I don't want to butcher it for everyone, but just check it out. I'm sure that's more than enough vague information to pull up something. Whatever.
All right, I got one more for you. It's Murphy versus Missouri. So the plaintiffs are 2 states, Missouri and Louisiana, and 5 individual social media users. They sued several federal officials and agencies, including Surgeon General Vivek Murthy. The allegation is that the plaintiffs claimed that the federal government pressured social media platforms to censor their speech, which they argued was a violation of their First Amendment rights. The speech in question was related to COVID-19 in the 2020 election. The Supreme Court decision ruling was the Supreme Court ruled in 6-3 that the plaintiffs lacked Article 3 standing to seek an injunction against the federal officials and agencies. The majority opinion written by Justice Amy Coney Barrett, the opinion stated that the plaintiffs did not demonstrate a concrete and particularized injury that would give them standing to sue. Justices Alito, Thomas, and Gorsuch dissented, arguing that the plaintiffs had shown sufficient harm. This ruling has significant implications for the relationship between government actions and social media platforms, particularly concerning content moderation and free speech. It underscores the challenges in proving standing in cases involving alleged government influence over private companies.
Again, if you are going to believe and buy into that caveated nonsense, take that shit down to the city hall, bring whoever shows up, and have them vote on it on the spot. If you really believe
this one is they're basically allowing the federal government to influence social media platforms, which hide behind section. They hide behind section 230 of the. I forget what it was. It's section 230. It's some sort of FEC thing, to where the social media companies say we can't be held liable for things that say on our website because this is a platform. It's not a publication. It's people using it. So when the government comes after them for things that people are saying, they can't because they're technically a platform.
No,
that people
I
say
believe
that.
they would.
So what they're doing instead is they're getting
sufficient evidence to go attack the government for their rights being violated. Is what I heard.
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry.
What I heard is that they cannot retaliate against the government for violating their rights and trying to stifle their speech.
Yeah, basically. And if you remember the Twitter files that came out a little bit ago about how, and it's the same type of corporation bullshit that happens in any other country or any other company, is you'll get someone who was in the FBI, some head FBI guy. He retires from the FBI as an FBI lawyer and gets put on the board at a place like Twitter. And then he becomes Twitter's lawyer. And then the FBI tells Twitter that they can't post certain things about a certain political leader.
Oh, it was bought and paid for, buddy. If you think that we're not,
that's just what it is. It's this, and this is just allowing censorship.
They're in the food industry. They're in the fucking the construction industry. They're in the medical health industry. They're in the insurance industry. If you think that those plants aren't in every single one of those fucking industries to keep themselves on top, you are mistaken. Those are they know exactly what they're doing. It's a long game.
Mr. Schwartz hopped in, said, "Howdy, boys."
Oh, hey there, Andy. Oh, hey there, neighbor.
Yeah, surprise guest. Look who I got.
Yeah, he said he'd give me free beer, and then he didn't pay up.
You can have this beer.
I told you should have grabbed 4.
I got one right here. You want it?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
Sure? I got plenty. This is America, after all. Look at that.
You put your last name on the internet, dude?
Who?
Andy.
Yeah, he's a professional.
God, he's handsome. Look at that guy.
Look at him.
That's a face. That is a face.
That sure, definitely. I've seen a lot of faces in my time, and that is definitely one.
Yep, that's our guy.
All right. On to the next. You ready?
I don't know.
Marijuana pardons. Are they far enough?
Well, are they going to...
So,
how much money did they generate arresting them?
So marijuana expunged... The Maryland... no, fuck. Why do I have that written down? Oh, so 175 convicted felons for marijuana cases were pardoned in Maryland. The Maryland governor, Wes Moore, is pardoning 175,000 people who have low-level convictions related to marijuana. The governor announced Monday that to date it is one of the most expensive absolutions by a state for this type of crime. The barriers to everything from employment to education to the ability to buy a home and to be able to start gaining wealth for your family, all of these things are being blocked, Moore told NPR. By doing what is the largest state misdemeanor cannabis pardon in history of this country, essentially what it's doing is we want to make second chances actually mean something. Now, they are a pardon, and now I don't think a pardon is far enough because there's a difference between a pardon and an expungement. But this right here is 175 people being pardoned for using drugs that at one time were illegal. And I'm 100% on board for this because of the fact that right now we still have people locked up in our own state for drug use when we have people selling the same drug at dispensaries for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Or people who aren't necessarily locked up, but they caught a case a while back and they have a felony, and that felony is barring them from getting like a decent job.
That's not what's stopping them from getting a decent job, but I understand what you're saying.
Not everyone is, what's the word I'm looking for?
Competent.
No, not necessarily compliment is utilized is not utilized. When someone is able to just basically
devalued, I don't know.
No, when you're able to like basically like you have a lot of space to move. Like I don't know.
You have a great sense of agency.
Sure.
You have a fucking killing it. That's it.
Though some people don't have like the ambitious attitude to be able to make a dollar out of a dime or whatnot. You know, some people just can. So
you better figure it out or you're gonna be hungry.
But so this is the difference between a pardon. A pardon is an act of clemency that comes from the head of state, like a president or governor, and it essentially forgives a person for their crime. But it does not erase the criminal record, but it may restore certain rights, such as the right to vote or to hold public office. A pardon is often seen as a sign that the individual has been rehabilitated and is no longer considered a threat to society. Whereas an expungement is a legal process that results in the sealing or erasing of a criminal record from public view. It can be as if the crime never occurred, and the individual can legally deny ever having been convicted of that crime in most situations. Can you look up
when that was made up? Because I feel like that we might have just found the first loophole that the government put in place to get themselves and pardons. Out of
shit. Always been the thing,
right? When was the first expungement or the first pardon? Like that's very interesting information. I feel like it's the first gray or the first line. You know what I'm saying? I feel like someone wrote that in, just to like, like their nephew got fucking arrested or something, and he's like, "Don't worry about it. I'll get you back in Parliament." Like,
I don't know if we're gonna be able to find it.
Legislation. Go to legislation.
No,
Okay,
yeah.
that's
See,
not
this
very
is just talking
specific.
about what expungement is. I don't think we're gonna be able to find that right now.
I'm gonna look back into this, and I'll definitely let
Promise?
you know. Definitely.
But yeah, so I'm tired of dilly-dallying around a fabricated law of this war on drugs. America loves to just declare war on ideologies, whether it's drugs,
We can declare
terrorism,
war on anything.
communism.
I could declare war on fucking sunlight. Like, you know what I'm saying? We could. They did. I think they did.
Tell all your friends.
Like, I think they might have, which is great for me as a pale person of red hair. Like, but I think that we're at war with sunlight right now. I do. They did. They did it.
And then one of the last things I got for you is a bunch of environmental activists went and took some basically that soap paint you see people paint on cars, like it's prom,
Yeah.
just smear. See, people had that and they sprayed Stonehenge with it to increase
Dude,
awareness for climate change.
What an asshole.
I don't understand what that does, but all it does is it tarnish your own movement, right?
I think that I feel like there's a lot of people in the world, and the more people you have, the more possibilities for a thing happening. And I think we're just getting to that point where we're at a critical mass now where, like, Murphy's Law, if it can happen, it will happen. So, like, will an idiot show up and fucking ruin something that we all love? Probably. We're at that level of people now. We have that many guys out there, and we're not the best, and we're only getting dumber. I don't mean to be all
bullshit.
I think every day is live. We should thank God and fucking count all of your blessings every day and be grateful to have a family that loves you, and that you have people and that you're in America, and we can sit here in our podcast without men and masks.
Fuck yourself.
And sending us away to a gulag or something.
I'm sorry.
What?
I just remembered that I had sound bites. And I could play them the whole time.
Don't get bogged down by all the haters out there. Don't get.
You can't hear the sound bites?
No. What's that mean?
Oh, it was like Elon Musk saying, "Go fuck yourself." I'll play them for you after.
Okay. I gotta go potty.
All right, go potty. I'm gonna read the Washington speech.
Oh,
and then
I can't. All right,
then we were
read it
gonna
out.
sign off.
No. I'll stay for the whole thing. We're doing this.
All right.
I wanted
So,
to
ladies
hear
and
this.
gentlemen, we didn't do nothing super special for July 1st or July 4th. Especially didn't do nothing for July 1st. But July 4th, I thought it would be interesting just to read the very first, State of the Union address, basically, from the first president of the United States.
The first unofficial State of the
Because
Union
it
address.
still holds a lot of weight to things that are happening today when it comes to party factions, meddling in foreign wars, all those sorts of different things like that. So I'm going to read to you President Washington's first annual message to Congress. Yankee Doodle. It's Yankee Doodle, brother.
I love Yankee Doodle.
Fellow citizens of the Senate and the House of Representatives, I embrace with great satisfaction an opportunity which now presents itself of congratulating you on the present favorable prospects of our public affairs. The recent accession of the important state of North Carolina to the Constitution of the United States, of which official information has been received, the rising credit and respectability of our country, the general and increasing goodwill towards the government of the Union, and the concord, peace, and plenty with which we are blessed are circumstances auspicious in an eminent degree to our national prosperity. In resuming your consultations for the general good, you cannot but derive encouragement from the reflection that the measures of the last session have been as satisfactory to your constituents as the novelty and difficulty of the work allowed you to hope. Still further, to realize their expectations and to secure the blessings which a gracious providence has placed within our reach, will the course of the present important session call for the cool and deliberate exertion of your patriotism, firmness, and wisdom. Among the many interesting objects which will engage your attention, that of providing for the common defense will merit particular regard. To be prepared for war is one of the most effectual means of preserving peace. A free people ought
I love this guy. I've never heard this before, but he's a man after my own heart.
A free people ought not only to be armed but disciplined, to which end a uniform and well-digested plan is requisite, and their safety and interest require that they should promote such manufactories as tend to render them independent of others for essential, particularly for military supplies. The proper establishment of the troops, which may be deemed indispensable, will be entitled to mature deliberation. In the arrangements which may be made respecting it, it will be of importance to conciliate the comfortable support of the officers and soldiers with due regard to economy. There was reason to hope that the pacific measures adopted with regard to certain hostile tribes of Indians would have relieved the inhabitants of our southern and western frontiers for their depredations. But you will perceive from the information contained in the papers, which I shall direct to be laid before you, comprehending a communication from the Commonwealth of Virginia, that we ought to be prepared to afford protection to those parts of the Union, and if necessary, publish aggressors. Okay, so that's
punish.
Punish.
We gotta punish the aggressors. Okay, Washington had it going on. This guy had big dick energy.
Well, that part, you know what he's talking about, right?
Indians,
Native Americans.
Whatever.
Indians live in India.
Yeah, I knew that. I'm gonna do my best, Corey.
So that part actually, like, oh, god damn it, Washington, you crazy son of a bitch.
Well, I mean, we're just
the interest of the United States requires that our intercourse with other nations should be facilitated with such provisions as will enable me to fulfill my duty in that respect, in the matter which circumstances may render most conducive to the public good, and to this end that the compensations be made to the persons who may be employed should, according to the nature of their employments, be defined by law, and the competent fund designated for defraying the expenses incident to the conduct of our foreign affairs. Various considerations also render it expedient that the terms on which foreigners may be admitted to the rights of citizens should be speedily ascertained by a uniform rule of naturalization. That one's interesting with the border going on right now, isn't it? Various considerations also render it expedient that the terms on which foreigners may be admitted to the rights of citizens should be speedily ascertained by a uniform rule of naturalization.
Yeah, by a uniform rule of naturalization. That means that, like, we shove them down with beers, hot dogs,
well, we talk about the
movies,
show
Baywatch.
Often. America should have a tall fence on our border, but a wide gate. We want people to come in, but it has to be done in a uniform fashion. Get these people tagged real quick. Get them their social security.
Yeah,
let them fucking
Budweiser,
work instead of them being holed up in a hotel and not doing anything for society.
No, I agree. I love people, man.
Uniformity in the currency, weights, and measures of the United States is an object of great importance, and I will be persuaded be duly attended to. The advancement of agriculture, commerce, and manufacturers by all proper means will not, I trust, need recommendation, but I cannot forbear intimating to you the expediency of giving effectual encouragement as well to the introduction of new and useful inventions from abroad, as to the exertions of skill and genius in producing them at home, and to facilitating the intercourse between the distant parts of our country may be a due attention to the post office and post roads. He's literally talking about offshoring. Build the shit at home.
Oh.
Don't, like, right here. I cannot forbear intimidating you to the expediency of giving effectual encouragement as well to the introduction of new and useful inventions from abroad, as to the exertions of skill and genius in producing them at home.
Yeah. He's like, so you can have cool stuff, but you should probably just make it yourself.
Just make it yourself. Don't rely on other countries. Be self-sufficient. This is him telling, as the first president, telling the country how they should do things.
Nor am I less persuaded that you will agree with me.
You want to read it?
Opinion.
You take over.
No,
read it in the
I
microphone.
Don't.
I like that. I like that tone.
It was good, but I can't. I gotta pee. I have to go.
Nor am I less persuaded that you will agree with me on opinion that there is nothing which can better deserve your patronage than the promotion of science and literature. Knowledge is in every country the surest basis of public happiness, and one in which the measures of government receive their impressions so immediately from the sense of the community as in ours, it is proportionally essential. To the security of a free constitution, it contributes in various ways by convincing those who are entrusted with the public administration that every valuable end of government is best answered by the enlightened confidence of the people, and by teaching the people themselves to know and value their own rights, to discern and provide against invasions of them, to distinguish between oppression and the necessary exercise of lawful authority. This guy's spitting, guys. To the security of a free constitution, it contributes in various ways, by convincing those who are entrusted with the public administration that every valuable end of government is best answered by the enlightened confidence of the people. We're talking about the idea that a republic relies on an educated people, not a people that are dumbed down by factions and trivial manufactured division. Between burthens proceeding from a disregard to their convenience and those resulting from the inevitable exigencies of society, to discriminate the spirit of liberty from that licentiousness, cherishing the first, avoiding the last, and uniting a speedy but temperative vigilance against encroachments with an unavoidable respect to the laws. Whether this desirable object will be the best promoted by affording aid to seminaries of learning already established by the institutions of a national university, or by any other expedients, will be well worthy of a place in the deliberations of the legislator.
Did you just finish without me?
I guess so.
Dude, I thought you were gonna pause.
We're live. But there was one more part. The interest of the United States requires that our intercourse... Oh no, where was it at? Nor am I less persuaded that you will agree with me in opinion that there is nothing which can better deserve your patronage than the promotion of science, literature, and knowledge in every country, the surest basis of public happiness, in one which the measures of government receive their impressions so immediately from the sense of the community as in ours, it is proportionally essential. To the security of a free constitution, it contributes in various ways by convincing those who are entrusted with the public administration that every valuable end of government is best answered by the enlightened confidence of the people. Versus what we have now. And that's what I was kind of going off about when you were coming back in. That we've dumbed down our society and basically created just manufactured dissent between everyone.
Yes.
When the very first president says everybody needs to be
engineered.
Informed. That's why the First Amendment is more important than the Second Amendment. Because it's the pen. The free press.
Prefer the sword. I do. I prefer the sword.
The sword can kill a man. The pen can sway a nation.
The sword can kill a nation.
It's a lot harder, though. It's much easier to pick up a pen.
I guess.
Well, ladies and gentlemen.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July. Libservative Podcast is found on all social media and podcast platforms. Our website is libservativeshow.com. We can be found at Libservative on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Instagram and Twitter at LibservativePod. Our TikTok videos can be found at Libservative Podcast, and you can reach out directly at libservativepod@gmail.com. Subscribe today, and if you like the show and you're a new listener, share it with a friend. You guys can bullshit about it like you would Gilmore Girls. Like that callback?
Yeah, that was a good callback. I wasn't expecting that at all. Thank you, Lipservative, for letting me come and sit in with you today, and I really enjoyed it. And I look forward to coming back again sometime as an emergency
fun, right? You had a
contact
good
fill-in.
time?
Yep, thank you. I sure did.
Did you
I'm
feel like
wildly
yelling into a
uninformed.
microphone actually though?
He makes me feel like I'm smarter than what I actually am.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
And obviously, then you end up in a wig like me. I mean, my real hair.
Yeah, obviously.
But it's like therapy, right?
Yeah.
You
It's
feel
nice.
it. You're able to just get it out. People are
Yeah.
gonna be listening to this for a while.
Well, I don't pull out for anybody, but I'll pull out for Lipservative any day.
You heard it here first, folks.
Happy
Robert
4th of
will
July.
pull out for Lipservative.
Yeah.
Happy 4th of July, folks.
America. Is it Mario? I'm just
No.
kidding.
That's an AI photo of
America. as a
Sylvester
man?
Stallone eating a burger with fireworks and American flag.
It's
That's literally
badass.
was the prompt.
It's badass.
Adios, guys. We'll see you. Until next week. Dan and Belle will both be back.